what are the latest goings on with the University of Florida? They have a player who likes to drive 150 miles an hour. Me? Not a notch over 130. That's where the governor kicks in. I've heard. Been told. I don't know that.
Yeah, so this says they're having to deal with this stupid lawsuit. Well, not this stupid. It's actually a very legitimate lawsuit with Jaden Rashada. I mean, stupid, like it's just so frustrating and stupid that for them that they have to deal with it. It's like, that's what I meant to say. But yes, Florida has been dealing with the Jaden Rashada lawsuit as it is. Meanwhile, defensive lineman Michai Boireau, I think is how you pronounce it, was arrested over the weekend and spent 2 nights in jail, according to On3 and Gator Online's Zach Albalverde. He's facing charges of, get this, fleeing deputies at 150 miles an hour and causing serious injury with the vehicle. He was released on $60,000 bond. A police report obtained by the Monroe County Reporter said he was clocked at 86 miles an hour on I-75 Saturday night, and when the officer turned his lights on, he sped up to more than 150 miles an hour. As they pursued him, the report said he ran into a Chevy Malibu in the median and injured the driver. He told deputies he was headed back to school and drove away because he was on a suspended license.
Boy, it sounds like that Dwayne Goodrich wreck, doesn't it? Except not quite as serious.
I mean, not a death, but a serious injury is.
But very similar.
We're talking probably maybe prison time. Yeah.
There are all kinds of reasons you can't fire a coach right now, Caleb, because of the timing. Everybody has a job. Who are you going to hire? We saw, was it Bob Stoops did that to Oklahoma, didn't he? He just quit in the middle of the summer.
He quit in the middle of the summer because of the Joe Mixon thing that we know he covered for.
Okay, right. But anyway, that's an incredibly hard time to hire another coach, right? You pretty much have to do it internally, or you have to throw a lot of money at somebody. But they're still probably contractually obligated. But if I was the University of Florida, I would consider firing Billy Napier tomorrow.
Over this? Or just because of everything happening?
Just because I don't think the direction of the program, I'm not one that believes in continuing down a road, no pun intended with this, continuing down the road that I don't think is fruitful. I don't think it's fruitful not because of this, but this would be my impetus to be able to make the change. If I'm the AD, I'm making a change today. And it's not because of this, but I'm using this as an excuse. And everything else that's happened, it's a fiasco, and we all know it.
I think, now, let me be very clear that I'm talking about within the context of football, because if he reportedly caused a serious injury, the unluckiest person in this is the person who was seriously injured, not Billy Napier, who would, if he got fired, walk out with a pretty good payout. Okay, there's unlucky in the context of football and unlucky in the context of life. Okay, so obviously unlucky in the context of life is a totally different thing. So I don't want to sound like I'm sounding sympathy for Billy Napier when a person was seriously injured in this incident, and that's who our thoughts should be with. However, in the context of football and among coaches, Billy Napier, man, is striking me as the unluckiest coach in football. And I'm not saying he does a lot of things wrong. He does. But like Kirby Smart is letting Georgia players left and right go have traffic incidents and go kill people in their traffic incidents and defending them for it. Okay. Billy Napier had this. There's the Jaden Rashada thing that I don't think is his fault. I think Billy Napier did with Jaden Rashada.
Jaden Rashada is suing him. He thinks it's his fault.
Well, okay, but hold on. I don't think Billy Napier, here's where I say it's unlucky. I think Billy Napier did the exact same thing every other coach has been doing at a high level with Jaden Rashada, which is coaches have been.
Caleb, I'm sorry. Maybe coaches have been doing that, making promises that they shouldn't in recruiting. But when you do something like this, it's proof that a lot of coaches are stupid. A lot of football coaches are stupid, and this guy's stupid, and I don't want him to be the head of my program any longer. Well, I don't care. I don't care if I point to this or if I point.
Josh Heupel promised Nico Iamaleava the NIL money. It was there. He did it on the promise that his boosters told him it would be there.
But the money was there.
But Josh Heupel probably knew as much about the money being there as Billy Napier knew when he promised Jaden Rashada.
And I was told, actually, I don't know why I know this, but I was told that he pretty much let the Spire Group handle that, and he got reported.
And so Billy Napier was letting the NIL boosters handle this, and it's unfortunate for Billy Napier that he's at a program that never got its NIL act together.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, you have to realize, and everybody listening, coaches live in a fantasy world at the level that we talk about compared to us. You, me, make sure we pay our mortgage, do all those things, make sure, like me, I got to stay in the deck this weekend. All right, all those things, they live in a fantasy world. They don't even have to talk to their wives if they don't want to. They just go to the facility and stay there for 12, 16 hours, and it's okay because everybody just turns a blind eye and says, go for it. But the simple fact is, a lot of these coaches may work hard, but they ain't real bright. And if you want to get Billy Napier the excuse of not knowing business acumen because he's a football coach, I will give you that. But this is another incident, and the team's not very good. All that piled together on a end of May beautiful afternoon makes me think, man, can I go get Urban Meyer out of retirement? Slight exaggeration, but is there somebody I could go get with $10 million a year? What are you doing, Mr. What are you doing, Mr. Stoops?
Okay, I'm largely with you in the terms of Billy Napier as an on-field coach is clearly got issues. I think his problem is, and I think you and I both agree, he probably has too many off-field analysts. He took what he learned from Nick Saban and he's taking it to an extreme, right? Where he's like, let me have too many off-field analysts and we're going to create too many issues. My thing is, okay, these two issues, take on the field, that's relevant. The Jaden Rashada incident and the 150-mile-an-hour incident with this Florida player. If hypothetically Josh Heupel were head coach at Florida, do you think it would have gone any different with those two situations?
No. I think Josh Heupel's smarter than Billy Napier. I don't think he would have put himself in the business position.
How? You don't think he would have promised him $1 million over the phone?
Well, maybe Danny White gets a little bit of credit because he hooked him up with the Spire Group early enough.
But that's my point. No Danny White, no anything. Just if Josh Heupel was at Florida, what would he have done different than Billy Napier did?
Well, we've all bought a house. I mean, we've all bought a house. It's not as if he has zero business acumen. I would trust, to answer your question, I can't say that he would do anything different, but I would bet that he would do something better than Billy Napier. I would bet.
I mean, he would coach on the field better than Billy Napier.
No. I bet he would run a better program than Billy Napier. Mr. Detail-oriented has done nothing but hire about 50 coaches. Before we're done, I do want to mention one thing real quick, Caleb. Guys, you heard it here first. This is going to happen at Tennessee, okay, before the season. I mean, I don't even know how to spell some of the names of the cars that they're getting, okay? We're talking $250,000 cars, okay, that are electric and go 0 to 60 in 1.6 seconds, that go 200 easy, that the governor doesn't kick in till about 185, which there's no point in that. 135, maybe not. But I'm telling you, this is going to happen at every single school that's in NIL because these guys are getting sweet A cars.
Should there be, at this point, because of the acceleration on electric cars, I mean, we're going to see this with, are the issues with athletes going to spur an idea of federal regulations on how quickly electric cars can accelerate? Because there's none of that right now on electric cars. And it's so dangerous for teenagers because we all drive stupid when we're teenagers.
Or how much, or maybe, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do, but I'm telling you.
What's the point on making cars, by the way, that can get up to that level of speed when their speed limits are never more than 85 in the country?
Well, Caleb, some of us have a problem. So he's Caleb Calhoun. I mean, I love speed. You're talking about a guy who goes to Ohio.
Wait, no, here's what I mean. If you like speed,
I go to Ohio for a vacation so I can go to Cedar Point and Kings Island.
Why can't you have a racetrack where you're allowed to speed and there's designated cars for those tracks?
It's expensive. It's like, I've looked into it. It's like $500. And I tried to join a Porsche club with a BMW one time.
And Travis actually made a great point before we go. When schools start paying them, these lawsuits will be aimed at the schools. That's true. What's going to happen when schools start getting sued, Dave, for players killing people?
Travis Golden takes shots at me all day long and then closes it with one of the best comments.
I mean, I would, if you were the family of the Jalen Carter situation of the person killed, would you not sue the living daylights out of Georgia?
Yeah, but he's
everything they had.
I don't think he'd have legal grounds, but why not try? I mean, why not try with Billy Napier? We don't know that Billy Napier was actually involved either, but why not try?
No, don't sue Billy Napier. Sue Florida. Sue the University of Florida. If the school if the school has a collective, and now the schools are paying players directly, tied to our first part. Sorry to keep you on for a minute, Dave, but I just got to bring this up. Tied to the first thing we talked about today, if schools are paying players directly, and then they're helping players with collectives get money for cars, and these players are representatives of the university, why can't you sue the university into oblivion if a player causes a serious injury in a car?
Mead Drinker says you can rent a souped-up Lexus for $6,000 and race it all weekend long. Sure you can. But do you have $6,000 laying around that you would waste on something like that? I mean, I don't. Maybe I'll win the lottery one day and I would have that sort of discretionary income. Here's the problem. These guys have no bills and a ton of discretionary income.
Spend it on alcohol. Spend it on alcohol and throw a party and bring a bunch of girls to your bedroom. That's the safe way to have fun.